welcome back. It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro coming up here at the bottom of the hour. Daniel Lippman with Politico will be joining us. Stay tuned for that. Donald Trump firing one of his very close assistants that has been with him since the beginning. We'll get to that coming up with Daniel Lippman. You know, do we remember the story of Brian Williams, right? He does this show on MSNBC now called The 11th Hour. I mean, he used to be their top guy on NBC. I mean, he was making boatloads of money. You want to talk about an 80 to 90% pay cut, and now he does this show called The 11th Hour when nobody's watching. And the reason why that happened is because Brian Williams embellished and he lied about a war story, how he was on the battleground. You know, he was in the war zone, and, you know, bullets were flying through his, you know, few feet away from him and so on and so forth. Well, he lied, and he got caught in a lie. And because I'm surprised he's even still on TV, but like I said, he does the 11th hour on MSNBC now where nobody's watching. It totally ruined his career. He screwed himself, basically. Well, in a way, Joe Biden sort of is doing the same thing, but maybe he's not lying purposely. You could blame his age. I don't know. I mean, he's certainly not lying to the extent that Donald Trump does every day, but, you know, he's claiming what he's doing is he's mixing up these war stories while he was speaking to a crowd in New Hampshire, claiming the story happened when he was vice president, when it actually happened when he was a senator at the time. It recounts the actions of a 20-year-old Army specialist, Kyle White, who was never pinned by Biden. He did pin Army Staff Sergeant Chad Workman, who didn't believe he deserved the award. So I want to play you a little bit of this audio. Here is Joe Biden in his own words.
I've been in and out of Afghanistan and Iraq over 30 times. Pinned medals on silver stars on soldiers up in the upper Konar Valley. Young Navy cap up in the mountains in the Konar Valley in Afghanistan. This guy climbed down a ravine, carried this guy up on his back under fire, and the general wanted me to pin the silver star on him. I got up there and stand, this is God's truth, my word is a Biden. He stood at attention. I went to pin him, I said, sir, I don't want the damn thing. Do not pin it on me, sir. Please, sir, do not do that. He died.
Okay, first of all, this is important when you're running for the president of the United States to get your facts right, especially when you're talking about stuff like this, right? This is really deep, serious stuff. It's not like he was in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and he said he was in West Hartford, Connecticut. You know, oops, sorry. That's a mistake. Yeah, you're getting old, Mr. Vice President. That's a mistake. But this is some serious stuff. Now, if you're going to attack Donald Trump, and by the way, there's no comparison. These people on the right that are calling Joe Biden a liar, and he does this, and then they keep quiet when it comes to Trump. Zero credibility.
Well, we talked about it yesterday. Everybody lies, including Donald Trump, including Joe Biden.
Okay, but this is different. In my personal opinion, this is different. Here's why. Let me explain why this is different. I don't believe Joe Biden got up there on that stage and knew he was lying. I don't believe Joe Biden got up there on that stage and knew he was going to mix up the names of who he pinned and which war hero it was. I believe he just made a mistake. He mixed up a name and he made a mistake. It's not even really, the lie itself doesn't make him look better. When Donald Trump says mistruths, or as I like to call them, blatant lies, like 7 to 14 people died in Puerto Rico during that last major hurricane, he knows it's a lie. That wasn't a gaffe. That wasn't a mistake. It is a lie. Make no mistake about it. Okay, when Biden makes mistakes, people want to call it lies. I think the guy is just getting old and he's mixing up, you know, names and facts.
Well, how much older is Joe Biden than Donald Trump?
I don't know how old Joe Biden is. You're acting like
Trump is 45 years old. Trump is pushing 74, 75 years old.
So because
it's possible.
How do you compare the two?
It's possible that they're both getting old and that they're both making mistakes because they are old. It's not like Trump, and the media does this too. It's not like Trump is a 55-year-old guy. The guy is he's been a senior citizen for 9 years.
How can you compare the two? I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
In my opinion, Trump isn't trying to get emotion and get tears out of the audience. Joe Biden is.
You don't think
Joe Biden is trying to play on the audience's emotion.
You don't think Donald Trump is trying to get emotion out of people?
He's not almost up in tears like Joe Biden is here. The problem with what Joe Biden did is it can be construed as you are creating this false story, this false narrative to make me feel sorry for you. And that you never feel that with Donald Trump. That's the difference, in my opinion.
What are you talking about?
Between the two audios.
All Donald Trump does is complain and whine about how he's the victim, and he complains about the fake media every day.
Has Donald Trump not been attacked every single day since his since 6 months before his presidency?
River, the main reason why
look at the James Comey situation that we haven't discussed.
Well, listen, if you want to chime in on this one, I disagree with you completely 100%. I don't think you can compare the two between Joe Biden and Donald Trump.
The premise of the James Comey situation, I mean, none of that should have ever happened because it was totally against protocol, the way he approached it with those warrants.
And you know what? The Don Jr. meeting with the Russians was also against protocol, but it wasn't against the law. Same thing with this. It's the same deal. It was not against the law. He didn't break the law. If he did, he would be in jail right now. Same thing with Don Jr. and those buffoons who had that meeting. While it wasn't against the law, it was horrible judgment.
But I'll tell you this, Biden comes across as fake. Donald Trump does not come across as fake.
I completely disagree with you there. I completely disagree with that statement. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Again, that number if you want to be a part of the program, 257-5396. Let's start off with L. L, what's going on?
What's up, L?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Let me just say, I'm going to steal a word from the Trumpster himself. Like Avenatti and myself, unless he shoots someone on Fifth Avenue, he has to be the nominee because everybody else there is going to scare the people we need most. So the gas and all, he's going to get a vice president. He's going to nominate somebody. He won't be doing this alone. So the right is making this big deal about what he's saying, and I'm listening and I'm cringing and it's scary, but he has to be he's the only one. If I can't have Steyer, he's the only one that's going to, can be the nominee. But I was looking, can I just mention one other quick thing?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
I was looking at this Jim Comey situation and how they're just desperate for him to go to jail. They want to see him in handcuffs, all of them.
Yeah.
They better be careful what they wish for because the person in the White House has committed a lot more crimes than that. If they want Comey, and I think all Comey did wrong was foresee the destruction of this country when this man took over, and he was right, and everybody who was afraid was right.
Oh, well said. So I don't, Al, thank you for the call, by the way. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Al.
I don't disagree with you on that one. All these people that want Comey in jail, listen, what I say all the time, absolute zero credibility. 257-5396, the number to call. Let's go to Jimmy. Jimmy, what's going on? Thanks for calling into the Vegas Take. How are you?
What's up, Jimmy?
Partner, 100%. Trump's been attacked 24/7 ever since he became the nominee. The Hillary paid to have him
there you go.
dirt put on him.
There you go.
And the deep state, and we all know that. You know it too. You just won't admit it. But totally blind.
No, I'm not blind, and things I feel I talk about on the show, and if I don't believe it, I don't say it, Jimmy. It's called being honest. I'm sorry you disagree with me. Yeah. Well, nice laugh, Jimmy.
It's all coming out. It's for the world to see.
What are you talking about? People like you. Excuse me. People like you want to say Donald Trump is all victim. No, he's a whiner. That's what he is. He's a whiner. All he does is complain. He fires everybody that just disagrees with him on anything, Jimmy. He plays himself the victim 24/7. You want to blame the media for everything? This guy is more thin-skinned than anyone we've ever seen in politics.
I don't think it's all the media's fault, but they're a good portion of it.
And Jimmy,
no matter what he does, they find fault with it.
But Jimmy, you have to admit that he does.
A, it's wrong. If he does B, it's wrong. And he does the complete opposite. It's wrong. Wrong. He can never do right. And that's their game. And that's what they're trying to do, just to win the next election.
And you're right. And Donald Trump and people on the right aren't playing any dirty politics, right? It's only people on the left. Is that right?
Well, defending yourself is dirty politics. From a controlled deep state.
The thing is, Jimmy, I don't use that word deep state first of all, but Donald Trump clearly enjoys the war. He enjoys the digital warfare. He enjoys the Twitter fights. He doesn't have to respond to everybody. He chooses to, and he does that because and I'm a Trump supporter, but he is a very insecure guy, and that's abundantly clear at this point.
He's got very small hands, but apparently everything else is intact, right? Everything else is okay.
Well, I mean, the guy won the presidency.
I didn't say he didn't.
He is the president of the United States. It's not Hillary Clinton. I realize he's campaigning every day, but he doesn't have to respond.
And we got to take a break.
To every single possible attack that he gets.
And we got to take a break. But I have zero respect for anybody who wants to call in and say Trump is always the victim. Don't put any responsibility on Donald Trump and his words and his actions and the way he goes after people, and just want to blame the media for everything. If you're one of those people, I'm sorry, you are a white right-wing bias buffoon, and you have zero credibility. It goes both ways here, and Donald Trump is not helping his cause any. We got to take a break. I promise we will take more of your calls when we come back. Also coming up here in just a few minutes, Daniel Littman from Politico on the latest news of the day. You're listening to the Vegas Take, 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.